Well, everybody, as I'm uploading the third part, I'm going to record the fourth part. It may be late at night that this is posted. It might be actually Monday that I post. I think I might save it for the next day. Just, a lot has happened in the third part. I mean, it escalates quickly. Like, it starts off where a little slow. Like, it kind of gradually gets into like, whoa, what just happened? Interesting so far. Before I began continuing the game, I just wanted to say that if you guys ever want to know like when I'm gonna upload or any updates about like, the videos I'm gonna do, follow me on Twitter at KDTube11. I'll leave it in the description below. You can also just click the About section on my channel and click the link, and you can go follow me if that's something you're interested in. I'm not gonna bother you to follow me. It's just, that's the only way you're gonna know if I'm gonna upload or not, get updates, whatever. So KDTube11 on Twitter. That's my handle. We're gonna get back into it. We were swindled by Zorro himself. Just kidding. It's just strange because it's what we call dramatic irony. I think, or no, is that the right term? When you know something that the character doesn't know, like that he's the swindler, but Rose does not know. So that's why it's kind of been affecting my decisions. Where I'm like, girl, I don't care. I'll fight him. He's bored. He basically told us he steals because he's bored, which is ridiculous. So basically, I wanted to return the roses because that would be sending a message, because I don't want to receive roses from thieves, from swindlers. So let's see. Let's get back to it. So Arabella basically just is like, Johnson, can you put these in a vase? And I don't want to keep the flowers. I feel like it's not sending the correct message. So far, I don't even know if I'm gonna date this guy. Johnson moves forward to collect the box, a frown settling heavy on his wrinkled brow. Is something the matter? No, Miss Smythe, it is just... He hesitates, his fingers on the cream box. Yes? The mark on the box, I recognize its origins. Ooh, he's gonna spill the beans. He's going to be like, I know it belongs to the Amesbury. Appear inside, brushing a few stray yellow petals aside to look at the emblem he is gesturing at. Lady Ashburn was correct. These flowers came from one of the most prestigious florists in town. So she can basically, he can basically say, she can go to the florist and be like, who got this? And she's going to say, he looked like this, and then we're going to figure it out. And then you'll be found out, Mr. Amesbury, however you say it. It was a favorite of your father's when he courted your mother. Ooh, courted. I know for a fact that they do not collect orders without gathering information from their customers. Ooh, you believe they may have a record of who sent these to me? It is possible, Miss Smythe. Thank you, Johnson. He gives a bow of his head before collecting up the box and shuffling away. Then I shall go tomorrow and see if I can get to the bottom of this whole affair. Okay, so basically, people for some reason think that, like, not just swindlers and Zorro, but like if they wear a mask, like that just goes around their eyes, they basically are like, oh, no one will know it's me. But reality, I look at these movies and these games and I'm like, I know it's you. I know it's you. With my mind decided, I moved back into the drawing room to wait for Arabella. Next day, I start out towards town, having left Arabella with the promise I will not forget to meet her and the Colonel as soon as possible. That third wheel, that's us. Cheese ale. You see that on the side? The window? Let's go to the cheese place. I like a good cheese. The florist is one I have passed many times with a thought. The woman inside is friendly and polite. Well, she better be. We're Rose Smythe. She informs me the customer did provide details which they later discovered were quite false. It wouldn't be... I thought he would be one of those people that, like, those stupid criminals where they give you all this information basically to be caught. So, yeah. My excitement deflates at the news, but before leaving, she's reminded the man had paid for an extra favor. If the recipient of the flowers should come asking, then they were to give them another package. Oh gosh. Doing my best not to appear too curious, take the box and I leave the shop. Oh my gosh. This is weird. It's gonna lead us to a basement and he's gonna be like, I wanna play a game. Standing out of the way of people passing by, I open the lid of the small box expecting maybe a posy? What? Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies, ashes, will fall down? Like that? I am instead shocked to find my gloves. Along with another note. Ooh, that's serious music, you hear that? Curious minds should always be rewarded. Yours eagerly, the Society Swindler. So for trying to figure you out, you're just gonna give me the stuff? But you're the worst criminal ever. If you're gonna be a criminal all the way, which I get it, like he's not an evil guy. He's just doing because he's bored. He basically admitted that to us in the previous part, which you guys will see once it is uploaded to the tube of you, which is what I call YouTube. I grasp the card in one hand and the box in the other, unsure what to make of any of this. I have not heard of him treating the others he's encountered in this fashion. That's because he kills them in the alley while still wearing his Zorro mask. And he slaps them. He kills them as he doesn't use his gun. He slaps them with their own gloves. I'm sorry, I'm twisted. I've seen too many horror movies. Ugh. I probably watch too much stuff, but whatever. And is he not supposed to send on what he stole to someone else? Yeah, that is weird. I agree with you. He's coming on to me. With a sigh, I take my gloves and pull them on, placing the note back inside the box before tucking it under my arm. I step back into the busy street, glancing down the road which will lead me to the assembly rooms. Miss Smythe. I spin on my heel at the sound of my name. It's gonna be him, because that is how cliches work. The moment you figure something out, and it's like, oh, it's him. A smile quickly spreads across my face at the man who hurries forward to meet me. How did I know? I am so smart, you guys. I'm an expert in this stuff. What a wonderful surprise to stumble upon you here, Miss Smythe. Indeed it is, Mr. Amesbury. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know. I gave my character a basic name, Rose Smythe. It's very nice. It's pretty. Rose is a pretty name, so, whatever. He's Lawrence Amesbury, so I call him Larry, or the Swindler, or Zorro. I call him a lot of things. And, where are you headed to, if I may be so bold as to inquire? Do not follow me. I'm meeting Arabella and the Colonel at the She doesn't know. I know. I have to tell myself that. What luck, for that's exactly where I am heading myself. What luck? Oh my goodness. He is a stalker. Master stalker. Now I don't know if I could even date this man. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Shall we walk together? I give an eager nod and take his arm. The two of us then sang off down the street. Me and a version of Harry Styles. We pass through the park as we walk, enjoying the bright sun and gentle bird chorus. The assembly rooms are in the forest. Down in the forest, we'll sing a chorus. Sorry, I tend to sing. Oop, I hit the microphone, sorry. I breathed deeply at the fresh air, feeling there was nowhere else in the world I would rather be in that moment. You would have thought the assembly rooms would have been in... what is the assembly room? Is that just like a recreational hall where people gather and they're just like, hey? I don't think they said, hey, back in the day. I read that, okay. For such a short acquaintance, I feel more comfortable with Mr. Amesbury than some people I've known for years. Glance sideways to him at the thought, only to find his gaze already upon me. That smile. His smile widens as our eyes catch, then he turns to look towards the path. I do miss the parks when in the country. Your estate does not have gardens? Oh yes, and woodland, but it is not the same as a park. I have a park in my backyard, but it's not the same as this park. This other people can actually walk on, you know? Excuse me, I burped. A park is a wonderful place for meeting people in a subdued setting. You do not like the society of town, yet you miss it when you are in the country. He is an interesting man. It's strange because sometimes you're just like, well, there's pros and cons to this, and then there's pros and cons to this, and you're like, I'm never gonna miss this place, and then you're like, oh, I do miss this place. People are complicated. You are a most confounding man to figure out. He is strange, that is for sure. Have you guys noticed this, I don't know, like the stripe that goes on across and around his hat is the same color as his hair. Maybe a little bit lighter. Interesting. Really? He seems to like that he's confusing. Well, I humbly apologize. It is not my intent to bamboozle. Ooh. Bamboozle. We've been swindled and bamboozled by this man. What else is he going to do to us? Oh, it's going to be swindled, bamboozled, and cockadoodled or killed. Killed is probably the last one. Oh gosh. Especially not you, Miss Smythe. You teased, but I was being genuine. Then you should at least be a little more serious in future talks. It may not be your intent, yet I think you enjoy it. Thank you, Mr. Amesbury. I'm gonna say it may not be your intent to, like, confuse people, but you enjoy it. I think that's the answer I was looking for. I mean, that's a pretty good one. It may not be your intent, Mr. Amesbury, but I do feel you rather enjoy it all the same. If the effect is to make you smile, then I will continue to do whatever is necessary. Well, I will continue smiling if you stop stalking me. You're kind of coming on strong. He removes his hat before pulling me closer towards him. Ooh. I almost press against him as he looks at me, and I can do little more than gaze back. Ooh! Every episode has these, like, close-ups where it's like, ooh, a painting. And the music change. It seems your happiness has become a fast-growing concern in my life. A rare seriousness overcomes him, and I am struck by the weight of it as my heart thuds in my chest. I smile, hoping he will not see how off balance his words have left me. Then I shall do my utmost to see it happen. The moment hangs between us as we continue walking on, barely allowing me to catch my breath. No kiss? Oh, I think they saved that till later. They're saving it. I believe we are not far from the assembly rooms. Suddenly I wish our destination were much further away. Yeah. So we're going to the assembly room. Wow. Things are moving along rather quickly. I don't think we're gonna finish it this part. We could. I don't know. I feel like if not this one we finish the game, or this story at least, we're probably gonna be finishing it in the last part. I'd imagine. I would imagine so. I don't even know if my freaking thing is uploading, because it went from being an hour and an hour to an hour and a half. So very interesting. Let's get back to the game. The assembly rooms are as busy as expected, if not more so. After arriving, Amesbury leads me into the main room, where we are greeted by the heat and noise of the gathered crowd. I believe that is Lady Ashburn over there. Well, we know you have eyes that work, Zorro. He gestures to one of the tables to the side, where Arabella and the Colonel have managed to find a space. She gives a cheerful wave as we approach. "Ah, Rose, you eventually join us. What? You acting like I'm being slow as heck. I had to go to the florist for you know what. Or does she know that I went to the florist? Sorry. Got some of my drink. And you found Mr. Amesbury. Actually, he kind of found me. How wonderful. Please sit, both of you." We do as she says, taking a place beside each other on the uncomfortable wooden seats. Oh, we don't have plastic or, I guess, any form of cushion. We just have uncomfortable wooden seats. How shocking. I think we should go home since we have uncomfortable seats. I cannot sit on a freaking chair for a long time because I have really no butt. But sitting on stairs, oh my goodness, I was waiting for someone. I was sitting on stairs for so long and I was like, I can't do it no more, I have to stand. Though barely do we manage to take our seats, then an excited voice calls to us. It's that old lady, except she's not really excited about anything. I was gonna say her next. The girl that's just like, she comes on too strong. She's perfect for Larry. Rushes to our table. Miss Witter rushes to our table, almost wobbling as she comes to a stop. She's drunk. I'm joking. Sorry. She has 2 beauty marks. Have you guys noticed that? "Oh, Lady Ashburn, Miss Smythe, is it quite true?" Yeah. No, we're holograms. Oh, that didn't exist back then. Never mind. I would mess with people in time travel. I'd be making jokes, and it would, like, they would be like, "What?" "Oh, nothing." You kids aren't ready for that yet. That's a reference. If you know what it is, leave it in the comments below. Her words are barely audible between panted breaths. What is she? Running around? Is what true? "That you was stopped by the society swindler." It's italicized, so it must be important. You would have thought, bold, but I guess not. Her voice lengthens and becomes almost breathless as she says the masked man's title. I notice Colonel Foxley does not seem to appreciate the girl's obvious enthusiasm. Okay, I don't like this girl because, I don't know, she's too much for me. We did indeed, and he's far more interesting than most. Ooh, we're salty. Ooh, more interesting than you, Miss Witter. We did, but we shouldn't speak of such a thing. We did, and what a tale it makes. I'm not gonna tell a story. I'm sorry. I'm keeping a low profile. It's my little short version of profile. Low prof right now. We're not really one of those girls that is like, I have to be a part of society. Like, I don't care. Rose and Rebel start with R, okay? Should we just not talk about it? I feel like we should just not talk about it. We did, yeah. I'll admit to it, but we were just talking about it at our house with a bunch of women. There's probably like at least 10 women there. I don't know. Excuse me. But if you wanted to hear about it, why don't you just... Arabella will tell you, I'm sure. Excuse me. And you should have been at that meeting at my house that was taking place. That was very annoying, Miss Witter. I'm not going to speak of it. I'm sorry. Or we could be salty. Because, I don't know. We're just going to not speak of it. We did meet him, or more accurately, he made a forceful introduction. I leaned forward and placed a hand on Miss Witter's. You should not be so excited to speak on such topics. Yes, you must do so in private, at least. We give gentle laughter, hoping not to catch the attention of those around us. But you must tell me something more. Of course you want to know more, because you have nothing going on in your life. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. Arabella rolls her eyes, but I can see she is eager to participate in this line of take it away, Arabella. Well, he demanded Rose's gloves as payment. He did? Oh, my. You must have been so frightened, Miss Smythe. I have to glance away any fear I had felt on my encounter with the swindler, having long ago melted to confusion and the lingering memory of his gentle touch. Well, Ooh, someone just slammed the door. My words are cut short by the sound of a door snapping shut and a pair of heavy footsteps echoing and following shocked silence. You there! Who's Mr. Tinder? And he started a dating profile, right? I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there. I know nothing about this time. I know something about the time period. Not really. The shout reverberates around the hall. Everyone's silent focus trained on Mr. Tinder as he marches towards Mr. Offston. First, are these guys gonna fight? Because first it was Lord Steer and some other guy. You are wearing my hat. Who cares? What the heck? What? What an enjoyably familiar scene this is becoming. Amesbury gives a quiet chuckle whilst the rest of us watch in surprise. Mr. Tinder approaches Mr. Offstein, who shrinks back a little but still attempts to look unaffected. Yes, that's definitely in my hat. You're mistaken, Tinder. Maybe your fondness for sherry over tea is finally affecting you. So they admit he's drunk. Before, I was like, is this guy drunk? Because they were fighting and like throwing glass and whatnot. Arabella, like, are you okay? The slight makes Tinder fumble on his words with anger. Now move along, man. You're spoiling the afternoon's pleasantries. You're wearing my hat. What are we, 2 years old? 2 little girls? Come on. I shall do no such thing until my property is returned to me. It was taken by that damned swindler, and I'll have it back. Wait, he gave it? So, the swindler took a hat. He's the worst criminal ever. What a weirdo. He just takes I will have your hat, I will have your gloves, and I will make the most ravishing ensemble of the century. But he gives it back, like, and so he must have given it to the other guy just to mess with people. Oh, dear me. We all give a small gasp as Mr. Tinder reaches to snatch the top hat off from Mr. Offson's head. Oh, no. Except Amesbury, I notice, who only chuckles again. He did this for his own amusement. I kind of like that. It's funny in a way. But who cares? The 2 men continue to scuffle, and we can only watch on to confused shock. Colonel Foxley, I'll put an end to this. Yes, I suppose we can't let it continue, though I doubt either will harm the other just flapping their arms about like that. He throws me a smile before following Foxley towards the 2 men to break up the spat. Oh, the spat, the row, the quarrel. Oh, how exciting. Yes, Miss Witter, you find processed cheese exciting. I mean, cheese is great, but I wish I was like you, easily amused. Okay. So many references, sorry. Oh, how exciting, she says. But the gentlemen barely make it 2 steps before someone else moves in from the entryway and comes between the 2 men. Who is he? He kind of looks like a vampire. Can we date him? He even's got like a jewel like in his ascot or whatever that is. Enough now, gentlemen, or you shall surely send the lady. I almost said surely, but well, I guess that is surely. Never mind. Send the ladies into a swoon. I do not believe either of you should wish to be the cause of a woman's distress. He stands proud against that eerie, I don't know how you say that, of the men, his voice deep and his words spoken with great authority. The 2 men glance at each other before giving resigned nods. Very well. I'm sure your dispute can be further discussed in a private setting. And with barely more than a few sentences, the man diffuses the angered scene. He pats the men on the shoulder and a subtle indication for them all to move to a quieter corner of the room. Who was that? He was more of a man than the guy that we're kind of have our eye on, you know? And he was gorgeous. He's not one of the options, though, either. The chattering once again floods the room. Most conversations, unsurprisingly, have turned to what just occurred. Who was that stranger? You don't know him, Miss Witter? What are you good for, Miss Witter? Arabella throws me a resigned look, both of us realizing the swindler has quickly been put out of Miss Witter's mind. I don't know, I've never seen him in town before. He is most dashing, is he not? Paws off, he's mine. I believe there are a few who could deny that. Oh, plot twist. It's Arabella's dude that she was, kind of going, oh, I may be engaged soon. It was the dude that she was referring to, but she would refuse to give us details. If that's the case, I would be like, honey, you have Boxley. But then again, she doesn't know who he is, so that makes no sense. But I was just trying to think of a cool plot twist. Plot twist! We know he's not the swindler, so I'm sure my aunt will know who he is. I shall do my utmost to find out. I'm sure you would, because you can't mind your own dang business for 2 seconds. And before either of us could say goodbye, Miss Witter scuttles away through the crowd. I barely remember what it was like to be so young and excited by the world. Miss Witter certainly seems to have an abundance of enthusiasm. I'm sure she'd be most pleased to share it with you. I fear even I could not contain such exuberance as hers. Our jesting is broken by the return of Amesbury and the Colonel, along with someone new. Who? Miss Smythe? Lady Ashburn, I hope you allowed me to introduce my eldest friend, Mr. Montfort. Ooh. He is the most handsome guy, like, in the game. Can I just tell you that? Like, Stanton is, tall, dark, handsome, but he's got, look at those green eyes and the cheekbones. I mean, they all got great cheekbones, but he is the best of them all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just having a moment right now. Look at the sideburns, though. Dang. They go into his dimples. I glanced up at Mr. Montfort. Monty, I'm going to call him. The man towering above us as we remained seated at the table. His gaze passes over us before he dips into an elegant bow. A delight to meet you both. I'm Miss Smythe. I'm single. You don't know me, but we're going to be married. He straightens himself back up, a polite smile now on his face. I do hope my interference in the earlier dispute did not make a bad impression. No. I liked, that you were a man and were like, hey, there are ladies present, and you better not be messing around, because we're going to stop it and everything. Yeah. It was most gallant of you to step in, quite the opposite, in fact. Maybe lending them to come to blows would have knocked some sense into them, not at all. I'm going to say quite the opposite. I believe anyone who would step in to help others can only make the best of impressions. His focus shifts to me, and I realize he's inspecting me closely for a long moment. Now we're going to make Larry Bear jelly. Wow, this story is so much fun. I'm having fun, you guys. I'm sure that what the outcome of his assessment is, as he only smiles again. I'm glad to hear so, Miss Smythe. But this is a surprise, Pierce. I thought you couldn't make it this year. Business in the country was cut short, so I thought I would join you. I feared you would grow lonely in town, your views on society not gaining you many friends. And yet here I see you have joined quite the amiable group. Indeed, I have been most fortunate in my company this season. He nods to the group, and I have to swallow down a blush as his gaze lingers on me. I will find you a chair, Mr. Montfort. You must join. Even the guys are like, he's cool. He's like one of those people where it's like guys, girls, like everybody just likes him. Like the guys are even kind of swooning a bit. Like they're just like, ooh, he's so cool, He's just the coolest guy. That's cool that there's another dude in the mix that you can't date him, but you only have 3 choices, unfortunately. But I think they should add Mr. Montfort. 'Cause look at him. I like Foxley, but, Montfort is like, I don't know. He's just amazing. Thank you, Colonel. I would be most grateful. And with that, the group of us settled down to enjoy an even more delightful afternoon. I can't speak, I'm sorry. Than the one we'd spent at the picnic. As the hours dwindle, we finally leave the assembly rooms to head home. We decide to pass through the park, enjoying the lingering heat of the sun before evening settles. Ooh. Look at that hat. Nice. Arabella and the Colonel walk on ahead, as is becoming their custom, whilst Amesbury, Montfort, and I linger behind. I got the 2 men. I'm glad you're happy with Colonel Foxley. Arabella, I got 2, even though one of them is weird. How do we say, Larry? I want Montfort. Like, Larry, you're kind of cute and all, but I want Montfort. Mr. Amesbury happily recounts tales of his childhood spent with Mr. Montfort, whilst Mr. Montfort. I want to be on a first name basis now. I'm already calling Mr. Amesbury Larry. I've been calling him that since, like, probably the 2nd episode. I don't know. Maybe the 1st episode. Shows me that he's nothing like he was as, a boisterous youth. Ooh. Oh, come now, Pierce. There must be a little bit of rascality left in you. His name is Pierce. Okay, cool. I fear my mother would go into hysterics should ever think as much. Agreed. Do you have a house in town, Mr. Montfort? My family does. Oh, nonsense, man. That manor is far too large for you to rattle about in alone. You should stay with me. Did you see the face? Oh my gosh. He, like, doesn't want to stay with his friend from childhood. Like, he's like, please, I think I can spend some time in a manor by myself. Oh my goodness. Mr. Montfort gives a resigned sigh at his friend's suggestion, though it seems only so as he can attempt to hide a smile. You would unlikely let me hear the end of it if I do not, so yes, I shall move my belongings over. Why was he giving that face? He looked like he was so uninterested. That face is funny. It's like, ugh, this weirdo. It would be just like when we attended college. Oh, I do hope not. I love that face, too. I cannot stifle my laugh as I watch the two interact with such ease. It reminds me such of my own close relationship with Arabella. And where are your lodgings, Mr. Amesbury? My family owns one of the townhouses on the Crescent. The Royal Crescent? She is... Where were you? You were with Foxley. Was she just, like, creeping up and she's like, I want to see what Handsome 1 and Handsome 2 are talking about with my girl. The Royal Crescent? Way to eavesdrop, Arabella. Dang. Arabella's sudden halt and question makes us all flinch. Amesbury recovers from a surprise, smelling broadly at her. Yes, we've had it for years. Or for a few years, I'm sorry. Oh, I have always longed to attend one of the gatherings in the house on the Crescent. Why? I hear they are most splendid. Then I cannot disappoint. I shall hold a selected gathering in the middle of the season at my house. One that shall congratulate all who have made it so far without being overcome by the tedium of society. You should not joke about such things, Lawrence. The gathering or the boredom? Neither, if you wish to uphold your family's good reputation. Arabella claps her hands together in excitement, ignoring the men's continual banter. Then I shall hold you to your word, Mr. Amesbury. Why do we not discuss details? Arabella gives an eager nod and moves back towards the colonel, ready to talk further on the matter. Leave me alone with Montfort. I want Montfort to myself. Before he moves away, I clasp his arm so he glances back at me. Okay, this is our chance to flirt. It seems like it. But I want to flirt with Montfort, okay? Oh, he's holding a glove. I thought Mr. Montfort was holding french fries. But there are no French fries at this time, I don't think. I am looking forward to it myself. You shouldn't do this just for her benefit. Don't let her decide all of the arrangements for you. You are most kind to do this. Well, our friend did kind of just throw it on him, like, oh, I've always wanted to go to a party there. Like, and then you're just like, okay, like, I guess I have to do it now. You know, because it's almost like taking advantage of people's niceness, where they're just like, oh, okay. Arabella, you're in my house. We have a nice house. We have plants. We have logs that kind of look like poo. But it's okay. It's nice logs, okay? It's literal logs. We have Johnson. Come on. I should say something like, oh, you shouldn't do it just for her, because that's... I feel like she was kind of rude. To be honest, if I'm being honest with everybody. I should say you shouldn't do it for her. If this is going to inconvenience you at all, you shouldn't do it just for her benefit. Oh, trust me, Miss Smythe, this is barely for her benefit at all. What? His half-lidded gaze holds mine for a long moment, and I almost falter beneath the close attention. I shall leave you in thank you. I shall leave you in Pierce's amiable company whilst I speak with your friend. Finally. What are we going to talk about now? Our future? This is a bit of a longer episode. I know that. Or it's... Excuse me. I'm going to end it soon, probably after I talk to him. He has a final nod of his head before speeding his steps to catch up with Arabella and the Colonel ahead. He has changed little. He's also become a swindler, so that's kind of a lot, in a way. Mr. Montfort gives a light laugh before turning to face me. I hope my conversation shall suffice in the meantime, Miss Smythe. Oh, it will. Offers his arm towards me, and I take it with a grateful smile. It feels odd to place my fingers gently against his arm, and I almost blush to realize how accustomed to Mr. Amesbury's touch I have become. We walk on a few paces behind the others, watching as Arabella and Amesbury talk in an animated fashion. Do you come to town every year, Mr. Montfort? Not every year, unfortunately, but I attend when I am able. Do you come by choice or by duty, as Mr. Amesbury does? Unlike my friend, I most enjoy the company of society and its people. Well, it's nice to socialize, but I don't really need a guy that is like so invested in, society and stuff like that. Mr. Browse. Oh my gosh. I'm so used to saying Mr. because like they all go by Mr. Senor or whatever. My brows curve at his reply. That surprises you? Indeed it does. I half expected you to hold the same views as Mr. Amesbury, seeing as you're such keen friends. We do make strange companions, but I find that is what keeps the friendship fresh. Such different views can keep us awake at all hours as we try to convince the other of the merits of one thing or another. Opposites attract, I think you can have friends that have different views. For instance, like, if one friend is like, I'm not going to give an example, but they believe in one thing, you can still be friends that believes in the opposite of that thing that you believe, if that makes any sense. You're for something, they're against it, you're against something, they're for it. You can still be friends with them, because you just don't have to focus on that. Or you can, have little banters like these two. But, oh wow, we are nearly always at opposition on most topics. And what of you, Miss Smythe? Word around town is that you are quite adept at maneuvering through society with ease. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. Kind of like a ghost. I suppose Lawrence really must be attracted to opposites, as he's formed quite an apparent attachment to you. Well, we've talked and, and everything, and I've already told him, like, I don't really care for society, and plus we're awesome at escaping picnics for a little bit because we just don't care. It's actually, I think our character just finds crowds overwhelming at times, It's like, so she's all surprised because he said, oh, he's attached. And they hear a few words of his statement. You believe he's formed an attachment to me? I need to turn on a fan. I'm so sorry. 1 second. Because I am burning up all of a sudden. So if you hear a fan, I'm so sorry. Do you not think so? I did not realize it was supposed to be secret. Huh. That's like when your friend, when you go, I like this person, don't tell anybody. And they go and tell somebody. Or maybe he didn't say that he likes her. He probably just sort of, Mr. Montfort probably just gave, or got the impression that he really is smitten with Rosie over here. He's certainly not one for keeping things quiet, if that's what you had preferred. He keeps the swindler quiet. Or maybe it is that your intentions are not the same as his. I believe they are much the same as his. It may be a little too soon to tell, but I hope so. We should just remain silent. Or, I don't know, because our character does like him, but I don't know if I want to date him now. Like I said, I don't know if I want to date some guy that's just like, I'm bored, I'm gonna go steal things and just, tease and, bother people. That's horrible. I don't want that in life. He seems kind of juvenile, you know what I mean? I like people that remain young at heart, but it's like, I don't know. I'm acting like I'm dating this guy, but I'm just gonna do the second one, because if he remains silent, he's gonna be like, oh, she likes him too. It is so short an acquaintance, I think it is too soon to tell, but I do certainly hope so. Pleased to hear it for Lawrence's sake. Now he's gonna go tell Lawrence. Larry. He gives a small smile before speeding our steps. Let us reach the others and join in whatever eccentric plans they are certain to have concocted? I don't know. With a small laugh, I agree, and we hurry our steps to catch the others. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this episode here. It's just the end of another thing. Longest episode so far, because a lot went on. We met this gorgeous man, Montfort, who is kind of like the wingman right now to Larry, aka Zorro, aka the Society Swindler, aka Mr. Amesbury. I will make another episode soon, and I will upload it. So hopefully part 3 will upload, so I can upload part 4 that you're currently watching, I assume. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever. And I will see you guys in the next one. I already said that. Okay, bye.